note, on that unvaccinated note. We got two things to talk. We technically have
too much to talk about.
We have three. Well, because yes, we fell behind on somewhere, and we need to catch up. We will not talk about Masters of the Universe today because you got 2 more episodes to watch.
I do.
I will say though, let's touch briefly on it.
Mm-hmm.
That I love that the purists, like the people that like strangely just want another batch of episodes exactly like the 100 we've already gotten or whatever. How many seasons did that fucking thing run?
Yeah,
so like let's pretend it was
60, 70 episodes maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, let's even say it was 60. It's 60 episodes of wash, rinse, repeat. Basically, that's what those shows were.
Mm-hmm.
G.I. Joe,
Transformers,
all of them. Wash, rinse, repeat. Nobody died. It was basically like bad guy fights good guy wins. Go our separate ways till next time. That if they weren't getting that they were going to burn the place down, even though they have no rights of ownership on this stuff or anything. I knew going in that they were going to basically like probably acknowledge the past and then quickly make it its own new thing. And I just love that like people can't accept that. They need like it to be exactly the way they want it to be, or it's no good. They don't sit and consider actually this is well written or this is well animated or all these other things or all these changes are for the better. So we'll talk about that show later.
The only thing I have to say on that is this part 1 of
right.
like a 3 or 4 whatever part.
I don't know. Until they get canceled, because Netflix can pull the rug out.
There's a multiple part grander idea of this whole story,
right.
And we're just commenting on the first 5 episodes,
right,
and devoid of the internet's reactions of the 3 episodes I've seen. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, Evil
Lynn can get it, and
well, we'll talk about.
And but I see where people I see all the negativity on the internet, and I'm like, did you motherfuckers not see this is part 1?
The beautiful thing,
it's part 1
for me.
You know how this is going to end.
Is that I don't recall if I ever watched more than 3 episodes of the original show in their entirety. I've seen bits and pieces of a lot of them. I don't think I've ever seen more than 3, and I don't remember the show well at all.
I think it was just after your cartoon time.
So this...
It was before mine.
So watching this, new Kevin Smith one, is like, I'm not going in with all that baggage, which probably makes it easier for me to like objectively enjoy this for what it is. Instead of having all that past hanging on it, you know.
And it really not for me either, because He-Man came out in 83. It was like the first big cartoon show. And G.I. Joe later, Transformers. Transformers is like 84, 85. So it was like, that's why Transformers is my thing. I was too late for He-Man. So I saw He-Man and reruns and stuff, but I never gravitated towards He-Man. It just never did. Like, I'd argue Thundercats was more of an influence than fucking He-Man was.
I definitely saw more episodes of Thundercats.
But they're basically the same fucking show, so it doesn't matter. All those shows are the same show. They're selling toys. It's all they're doing. Yeah. But what you said, why would you want to watch X amount of many episodes of the same shit? You know the characters. Let's see some new, cool, interesting ideas and stuff. And I get where everyone's mad about, it's the Tila show. But I'm like, yeah, it's part 1. Let's get Tila stuff and let's do all that stuff. Part 2 is probably going to concentrate on another set of characters, and part 3, so on and so forth, until they're fucking to a point where we're back to where you want to be, where it's He-Man and Skeletor doing their thing.
I mean, they had
the smartest thing that Kevin Smith did was remove those 2 right off the bat.
We're getting into it.
Sorry.
I mean, you know, unless you want to make this the one.
No,
but
no. We'll go back to it.
We need to circle all the way back.
I need to see the last 2 before we do that.
We need to circle many weeks back or 2. I think was it 2 or 3
for Loki?
Yeah,
that's right. We haven't done Loki. Definitely.
I was
The final?
Not surprised that they went with. I mean, we can't call him Kang. That wasn't Kang.
It's He Who Remains.
Yes, but it was also Immortus. He was dressed like Immortus. It was. I think they combined the two.
They basically...
They did like an amalgam.
I think...
Because He Who Remains is like some other character.
I think we're going to get a crazy... Like, throughout the next couple of years, we're going to get lots of different variations of Kang.
Well, yeah, because now the whole time... He basically said... In this, he says, there are... there was a war between us. Amongst the many, and he whittled it down and eliminated all timelines.
What a great job Marvel did, by the way, of getting the explanation out in a consumable way where it didn't seem tedious.
This was the problem. Anyone who's like just an MCU fan was probably like, this was a boring episode. It was a lot of talking. Even though there was a fight, the fight was between Loki and She-Loki. To whether to kill or kill not this brand new character they introduced. I think people were expecting like this big,
but we're getting season 2,
this big thing, and it was kind of like this was very contained in some ways. Granted, you blew up the timeline, but I think. Yes, it implies that we're going to be multiversing, which means we will see several versions of him. And the way I'm only familiar with him from I think I saw him in some movie, but I only know him from Lovecraft.
Oh, Jonathan Majors?
Yeah. And he was a very, very different character. And in Loki, it's like he's like the stir crazy,
yeah,
batshit nuts guy that's been alone with himself way too long, and is he knows what's going to happen even though he doesn't. Like the papers run out and he's like and then he like picks something up and drops it and he's like, I definitely don't know what's happening now.
Do you see how they did that with the WandaVision?
What do you mean?
Oh, so both finales sync up perfectly so that the moment that he says, oh, we've crossed the threshold, is when she gets her powers.
How do you know that?
Oh, it was like the second thing, like the next day they were all over it. You haven't seen it?
But I don't understand what that means. Who
the internet figured it out.
But off of what? Is there a clock that...
Yes, the episodes sync up at like 27 minutes and 55 seconds. She gets her powers at the exact same time. He goes, oh, we've crossed the threshold.
Oh, you mean the time in the episodes?
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know.
Meaning,
that sounds like Dark Side of the Moon. And
meaning that Wanda, that Scarlet Witch becoming Scarlet Witch is one of those Nexus moments where he goes, oh, we've crossed the threshold. I don't know what happens next.
I don't know. That sounds like...
That's awesome because all of this is going to be in Doctor Strange.
No, I understand that, but I'm not buying that thing.
I am.
I am. I don't know.
Because Marvel doesn't do shit like that on accident.
I don't know. Maybe it would have been more of a point to show that, but I never saw anyone talk about that.
And the same time that he drops the thing is the same time that Agatha hits the ground. So it all like syncs up perfectly for those moments.
This just sounds like Dark Side of the Moon and
all right,
and Wizard of Oz.
All right.
The first 35 minutes sync up perfectly to the album.
I've never tried that, by the way.
I never will. That means I would have to sit through Wizard of Oz again. I've seen that too many times.
I'd only do it if we did like shrooms or something like communally.
Then I don't think we could sync it up.
Well, you start with it synced up before you consume the shrooms.
Yeah, but the albums aren't 2 hours for those shrooms to kick in. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we could.
I've never done shrooms, so I don't know how it works.
I don't think you take them and then you immediately get high. It's like every other thing I've eaten to get high. It takes a while.
But the media would have me say that you take them, your eyes get all weird, and then you became like Simpsons.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what I have to go. I have the Simpsons to go off when it comes to, or I'd say Rogan, but when they start talking about drugs every time.
What drug have you eaten where you immediately get high?
I've never had one that you immediately get high.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
Okay, it takes time.
I'm just saying, and we don't know how much time that takes. So
we
would fuck it up. We would. That's what we're saying.
Of course, we would fuck it up.
So
we rarely do anything right.
So, where do we even go in this? So, of course, nobody died, which was like a little bit of a bummer. Because you're like, I mean, they killed Jonathan Majors, but he'll be back. You know,
he'll be back in so many different ways.
They pruned Loki, but he's not dead. They pruned Mobius, but he's not. You know what I mean?
How about Mobius doesn't know who the fuck Loki is at the end of the episode because he's in a different fucking timeline.
Loki Classic's the only one that died in this whole thing, I feel, and that's a shame.
But he went out like a G.
I think he. That's last episode, but yeah. So what do we want to talk about this one? Because this one was crazy.
Hey, this one,
but it was so much talking.
This one,
I felt like this was Matrix 2.
I didn't bother me, man.
Except all the discussion, like even at least in Matrix 2, I felt like they cut from the discussion to action back and forth at certain points. Like he was sitting there talking in the chair or whatever, and then they would cut to what's her name doing action and back and forth. This was just them talking to him, and he was great. And granted, the monologue didn't go on as ponderously long as the Wachowski siblings monologues do, but so it was probably about the right amount of time before
I would tell you
my head started to bob.
I would tell you that
getting bored with
I would tell you that if this was if this was just a 1-season deal and this is how it goes out, that I would probably be upset. But when they're like, "Oh, tune in for season 2," I'm like, "Oh, I'm perfectly fine with this being a season finale."
Well, but it's even if this was the only season, all the story parts would get resolved in other shit. This is Marvel. It's not like they're like, "Oh, there's not enough people watched. We're done."
Yeah.
It's like, no, we would continue this in a movie here and a movie there and another show and whatever. So
this is just,
even if it was another Loki, it's not like all this would still get resolved.
Everything Marvel at this point, I count as a thread of a larger story.
Yeah, it is.
So I doesn't make me mad. Oh, this wasn't a fight episode. Like, no, they accomplish other things.
Technically, there was a fight.
Yeah.
It just, I felt like this fight in that room with that lighting was hard to watch a little bit. It was a little confusing and obscured. It was a little too dark, dimly lighted, and I think some of the perspective jumps, it got a little confusing with it. But
how about Loki kissing himself?
I mean, technically they're different people, you know. Yeah, I don't know if like you would have some fucking sloth-looking inbred fucking baby out of those two or not. But they're the gods. They're all inbred anyways. That's
true.
They're so.
Are they Norse mythology?
Are they?
I don't know Norse mythology well enough to know.
I just assume there's like 20 gods. You know.
They can only come.
Who begat who? You know.
Can only come from so many places.
Right. So, I mean, there's more than 20, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't know. The real guy. I mean, Loki's adopted, so who knows? He could make Asgardians as much as he wants, but with himself, I don't know. See, I don't know how any of that works. Like we were talking last week, is he a frost giant, or why is he getting cold? You know, all this shit that's a little confusing. But I guess that's like.
I feel like Marvel
don't overanalyze.
I feel like Marvel only brings up the frost giant shit when they have a story, or there's a piece of the plot or something to explain something away that they bring it out. Otherwise, they just flatly ignore that he's actually a frost giant.
Well, at this point, I mean, I don't think I can't see a realm where we ever even have to deal with the frost giants again. Like, unless you do a War of the Nine Realms kind of Thor thing as like a big story arc, which they did recently in the comics.
Taika might have some crazy ideas, Ben.
I don't know. He did say this new Thor is the craziest thing he's ever done.
He said it shouldn't be filmed. It shouldn't have been allowed to be made.
Which gets me really excited.
How about the reactions to the James Gunn Suicide Squad so far? I'm really excited to watch it now.
Oh,
Really
we done with
excited.
Loki here?
I mean, what else is there to say? It's the season finale. It was great. It introduced the next Thanos. And this guy's going to be all in different variations.
I mean, it's a totally different...
It's a different thing, but it's the same idea. Like, this guy's going to end up being or a version of him, a variant of him, is going to end up being the next big bad. But along the way, we're going to get all kinds of, from what I've heard, he did the voices for the timekeepers. And what he did was, because they were like, well, why not just have Kang do it anyway? So they reached out to him like, hey, can you just send us some clips of some different voices so we can do for the, and apparently he sent them like 100 different variations of this shit. And they were like, we didn't realize how talented this guy is. Mm-hmm. So my idea is every time we see a different variation on Kang, it's going to be a wildly different character, and you're going to see like the reigns that Jonathan Majors has, where like
right. I just hope that doesn't confuse people.
Oh yeah, because they'll be like, it's a completely different character, but it's not a completely different character,
right?
But that's a lot of but with Marvel, it's like if you jump in at a certain point, man, it's going to be very difficult for you. You've got to have the Iggy on this stuff.
I feel like,
and now we're going through all this different media to tell one linear story.
Here we it's not that linear. We got like other. We got other stories.
There's one grand idea where we're going to get to, and that's everyone in this universe and multi-universe against Kang. But how we get there is going to be branched out.
I don't know that that's
going to
be. I think it may just be like a small story where he gets defeated. It could be in season 2 of Loki. It could be Loki that defeats him.
Oh my god! What if Kang just is defeated and that's it, and we never see him again?
Well,
if he's only a Loki villain.
Well, no. But I'm saying, like, he's going to be in these other movies, going to cause problems. Yeah. They're going to get in and out of whatever stuff, because it's like Kang often would get defeated just by the Fantastic Four or just by the Avengers or whatever. So it's not like you need to do a Infinity War Endgame type of conclusion to this.
So you're not going to put him with like you
don't have to do
we would assume maybe like a Galactus event,
a mega team up thing. Yeah, no, you save that for something else.
Yeah,
there's so many villains for
Galactus.
There's so many villains coming down the pipe. We're looking at a potential Kree-Skrull war. We got Secret Invasion coming up. By the way, I'm going to slide this over you. It's a picture of my friend Christian on the set of. In the caption, he says, what does he say?
War Machine.
War Machine, which makes me think he's on Armor Wars right now that they're shooting. But look at the thing he's wearing. Telos. That's a fucking Skrull. He's like his uniform says Telos, like a company. Ooh. So there you go. They're already laying seeds. He probably shouldn't have posted this.
Probably not.
Probably shouldn't have posted this because this is a spoiler.
Yeah.
And I don't know that he realized that. But he's in like tactical gear. I guess he's going to be like a background character in a scene where he's like security guards or something for Telos. But Telos is a Skrull. So we know Secret Wars or Secret Invasion's coming. And this looks like he's filming for Armor Wars. So you got those threads, which have nothing to do with Kang.
Yet.
Well, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That they've got other things. Fantastic Four isn't going to be, once that comes out, so you got like, down the pipe, you have, not only you have Kang coming, but theoretically, you have Doctor Doom and Annihilus are probably the two big bads that are going to come from, and Galactus are all going to come from Fantastic Four.
And Mole Man.
Well, I'm just saying, like, theoretically, like, major levels that could be coming down the pipe.
Yes.
You have,
2 of the 3 I'm really looking forward to. I was never a Galactus
Once
guy.
you bring some X-Men into this fucking universe, you're going to have like...
They just cast Storm, it looks like.
She could be anybody at Wakanda. It could just be another Wakandan character.
Or it could be Storm.
Well, I get it, but nobody said nothing. And we'll see. But you could... But like Magneto, I mean, just there's like some solid fucking villains, you know, plus whoever they use for all these other things, like Guardians 3, who's the villain? You know,
I think Guardians 3 is going to make us cry.
Well, they're definitely killing. They're killing
Rocket. I think Rocket's going to die.
Oh, well, I the funny thing would be, Bautista said he's done, but that they don't kill his character off. It's like such an obvious choice that they don't do it. He just kind of like retires or something.
I'm still wondering how many people die in the Suicide Squad movie. And I think James Gunn is going to do something fucking nuts with it.
But the villains, we'll get to that in a second. But the villains also, like, we got Thunderbolt Ross doing the Thunderbolts.
I saw an article the other day where they're like, hey,
but is it Ross doing it, or is it Elaine from Seinfeld doing that stuff?
But I'm like, well, the thing was, they're like, hey, so you saw Thunderbolt Ross in Civil War, right? I was just coming off a triple bypass, and he looked all fucking worse for the wear. Then you saw him in Black Widow, where canonically he's between Civil War and Infinity War, and you know, I'm sorry. You see him in Infinity War. And like he's all
like a second bypass or something.
Yeah, and he's all piss and vinegar, and then you see it in the in between Civil War and Infinity War, Black Widow, where he's all like he looks the worse for wear. There's a theory that what happens to him, the triple bypass, and why he's from frail to piss and vinegar, might have something to do with Red Hulk, with all the Hulk stuff that we're going to get as well.
Or he's just closer, or he's just had. Just time-wise, it was closer to his bypass, and you would be.
Well, they're saying that like he would just have been recovering his bypass during Infinity War. How the fuck could he be that full of like piss and vinegar?
I don't know. That's again.
But I'm not a fan of Red Hulk. But that is an idea being passed around because you've got She-Hulk and you've got the whole.
You don't need Red Hulk because you have Abomination.
Which
I feel like it's overkill. Like if you're talking about the Thunderbolts.
By the way, have you heard the way that Kevin Feige says
if you're
Shang-Chi?
If you're talking about the Thunderbolts, hold on, that it's you need to like it's too redundant to have two Hulks basically on the team. So yeah, what was he saying about Shang-Chi?
The way he pronounces it, he calls it like Shang-Chi or something like that.
It's probably the proper.
So this entire time we're
Cantonese or Mandarin.
Yeah, the way it's weird
pronunciation.
He look up when you get a chance to hear him say it, and you're like, I've been pronouncing it wrong this entire fucking time.
Whatever,
Jesus.
Man. No one ever. Stan Lee never wrote it out phonetically.
I hope that movie's good.
I think they're all going to be good.
I heard Snake Eyes is fucking. Not very good.
That came out today, right?
Yeah, no one said anything good about it.
Well, I haven't heard anything at all. It looks good. Black Widow. I liked it a lot. I think it was the top. Like, I can only rank things top half or bottom half.
Yeah.
In terms of Marvel movies, because it's like obviously none of these are going to be like those upper level, like Endgame and Civil War.
But they're not meant to be.
No. So, but I think it's a top half movie.
Agree.
You know, I really have no flaws with that movie.
Red Guardian completely steals the show, and I want more Red Guardian in my life.
Well, him and Yelena, both. Every scene they're in, it's their scene.
She is the perfect new Black Widow.
Yeah.
She's perfect. I didn't know that Florence Pugh...
Because she's more Russian.
Yeah.
So to be like the Black... I felt like that was always something that... listen, Scarlett, like, as a super spy, you should be able to master a fake accent, but your personality, like when you're letting, like, I felt like Scarlett was never Russian enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you, I will tell you
when her guard's down and being herself with people.
I will tell you that Florence Pugh and her performance as Lena has so much natural, like, charisma to it that I'm like, oh man, like, Eric.
Well, she's like a very charismatic individual as a person.
I think having her in the Hawkeye series is going to be fucking gangbusters. Because
the only logic is that, like, too much of, like, Scarlet basically speaking fondly of Clint.
Yeah.
In this movie. In Black Widow. For her to buy that line of shit, that he's the reason she's dead.
Well, Yelena got...
That's going to get resolved.
We're going to find out she got snapped.
Who got snapped?
Yelena. She got snapped during the snap. During the fucking Thanos snap.
Okay.
And that... So she's coming back to a world where her sister's dead, and here's some crazy woman who says, "Oh, this is who did it."
I don't know.
So it's going to be like it's going to be one of those, "I hate you," blah blah blah, and then he goes, "Whoa, we need some context here," and they have a moment of context, and she kind of figures
that doesn't
it out.
look like a snap hairdo. The hair was too long. I feel like from where that movie takes place, which is right before Infinity War, to then at the grave scene, the hair's too long to have been snapped. Remember Scarlet?
Maybe
her hair grew out and changed over the course of those 5 years.
Ben.
She definitely did in the movie in terms of real life practical makeup and wardrobe. Yes, but I'm just saying that for all intents and purposes, there's not enough time to have grown the hair that long.
Remember the scene where she makes fun of Scarlet's landings, the superhero landings? Yeah. Bro. And then she does it.
Well, I love like the self-awareness of the movies and bringing that in and poking a joke at it.
Here's one thing. Here's my one gripe. Fuck you, Marvel. Call that bitch anything else. Don't call her Taskmaster.
Okay.
Stop with that.
Can we discuss the Taskmaster for a minute?
I don't want to.
I do not give a fuck because Taskmaster has always been a D-level character with a cool costume. Change my mind. D-level character.
I don't care.
Fucking jabroni. The character is a complete jabroni in the comics. Always gets beat. Now this is where he is now. He's a mercenary for hire that's partnered with like an evil Ant-Man type character, Black Ant or something like that. I don't remember.
Oh, in the comics?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they're always just like fouling up fucking jobs. The dude supposedly can fight like every fucking character he's ever watched. Has never been able... Always loses one-on-one to like Captain America or something, even though he can fight like Captain America and 8 other great fucking fighters. The guy was always a jobber. He just had the coolest fucking costume on the block. So all you fucking comic book nerds fell in love with him, fetishized him because, oh, look at that with the skull and the fucking hood and the cape and the sword and the shield. But he was always a fucking loser. He never did anything. I think just now he had a limited series run. So all these years he never had a fucking comic book. He was never anyone's major fucking villain, and yet everyone's so precious with the fucking Taskmaster when they fucking kind of make it a jobber fucking character in the movie.
That's awful. It's awful.
He's a bum.
It's awful.
He was always a bum in the comics.
I love Taskmaster.
He looks so cool.
I won't fight you with facts.
I mean, coolest looking fucking villain. I'll give it that. But once you get past style, there's no substance to that character at all.
This made a man some weird little like I'm half explodey cybernetic girl, whatever the fuck. Yeah, Yazkov's fucking dog. By the way, him and that whole that third act. The Red Room is a flying fortress. I was
fine.
It was fine.
If Shield can have helicarriers, why can't they have something that fucking floats in the air too? Okay, it's not like they don't steal. Everyone
so because the Americans have it, the Russians have to have it too.
Yeah, they probably stole the fucking
technology.
Info for it. Yeah. I mean, that's what he was stealing originally. The stuff to control the minds. That was David Harbour. When he got out, that was the project they were working on S.H.I.E.L.D. was what they finally developed to control all these girls in the Red Room. So, Why wouldn't they have been able to steal like a hover technology for a giant building in space? I mean, in the air, in Russia. And then it made it believable that you couldn't find him because he wasn't on the planet.
Did you know that we had a mutant in that movie?
Here we go. Who was in it?
Supposedly.
Here we go.
Supposedly, the giant Russian man that David Harbour breaks his arm of, that's Ursa Major, which is a really...
Hey, he called him Ursa.
Yeah, it's a real minor fucking mutant. It is a mutant nonetheless.
Well, it's the guy that turns into a bear,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be a mutant.
Well, I mean, they might not know. The Marvel Cinematic Universe might not be aware of the existence of mutants right now, or have been aware of them, but not a name to call them.
But also, I didn't see him turn into a bear in this.
He did not turn into a bear.
Maybe he does not have that ability in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Maybe not yet.
Maybe he's just strong like bear. I just want to circle back and reiterate. The Taskmaster
Ben!
is a shitty garbage character.
You
never deserved this reverence that everyone is putting on him, let alone the outrage of making it a woman and not being like more prominently featured and etc. Fuck out of here with that.
It might be. By the way, if you'd have removed her from the movie entirely, nothing would have changed.
There's some like... No, okay, because...
If you would have removed Taskmaster from that movie entirely...
Taskmaster, yes, but his daughter, no. I feel like there was a lot of weight on Scarlett's character.
I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
For sacrificing the girl to the thing, and then realizing she's alive, alleviates some of that, but then realizing she's worse off for it than being dead. And then at the end, once she's hit with the red dust or whatever it is, and she's no longer, there's no ill will. She's just like, is he gone? That's all. Is the monster gone, you know? Yeah. And I think it absolved Black Widow and puts her character on a better track. And realizing that, like, even through all that, this girl didn't, like, hold anything against her, you know? And now the other Black Widows or the Red Room characters, whatever we want to call them, took her with them. Yelena's with her and all that. So we're going to see Taskmaster again, and it'll be a babyface character now, or like
the Widow Corpse,
or like that whole group's going to be doing their or is in business for themselves. They're all like a group of mercenaries, but they're like, but the Taskmaster will be among them, and it will be her, and you'll get to see more, and maybe they'll make a cooler, more comic version costume for you fags. Sorry, I don't want to use slurs like that, but
you're a hateful person, Ben.
Yes. I mean, but this is ridiculous with this fetishization of a terrible character. Terrible.
If you'd have put Taskmaster...
Never did shit in the comics.
If you'd have put Taskmaster in a fucking Deadpool movie, it would have been so much fun.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But...
you ruined the character.
Yeah.
I don't care about the fucking daughter. She could have been anything. Anybody.
No ruining the character. You would have only made the character interesting for the first time ever past the cover art if you had put him in with and written a good thing with Wade Wilson. But because it's such a shit character, it was given the appropriate spot in the fucking movie since it started.
I'm
garbage.
Boo.
But prove me wrong. Tell me the great fucking comic that you vividly remember that stands out in your mind.
I got nothing for you.
Yeah,
I can't attack you with facts.
It's all that one fucking cover where he's like got the whip up in the one hand or the sword, and he's holding the shield, and I forget who even the artist. It might have been John Byrne or someone. It's a beautiful cover, and the character looks so fucking cool. But then once you get past any cover art with that character, it's fucking D-level trash. D-level trash.
Didn't have to be that way, Ben.
They put it over. They put this character over like, oh, you're going to need all the Avengers to stop him. But you don't. He's always getting beat just by Captain America or just by Daredevil or just by fucking somebody.
I'm telling you, man.
Total jobber.
I'm telling you, total waste. Total waste. Could have been used in Deadpool movie to amazing effect.
You could have used him in a Deadpool movie and had a better and finally done something interesting for once with the character that was never ever done in the comics.
listen.
I'm just saying.
If
the
Mickey Warp, if Mickey Rourke could make Crimson Dynamo and Whiplash work, because they're basically the two mixed match characters.
I think it was pretty much Whiplash.
I think it was majority, but I think they combined the two. I think they combined the two backstories.
Well, I did like that that she called him Crimson Dynamo, and he had to correct her.
So there was a lot of that, but could have been. Instead we got whatever we got. It's all right though. It's all right because the movie, even the third act, with story wise, I was like, like that.
It was basic, but the problem is it was straight and direct and whatever, and you knew A was going to go to B because she don't die. We know she lives.
We've seen her die.
Right.
It's
we know
not
she
here.
dies somewhere else. But I don't know, man. I think it's I say this. It would be impossible to not. We know Yelena's going to be in a ton of shit. We know she's going to be in Hawkeye, and then going forward, she's going to pop up a lot. I don't think she'll get her own movie, and I don't know what her character is actually going to be, and I don't know that we're ever going to get another Avengers.
Do you know what I want to see?
I don't know that we get another Avengers movie, but if we don't get David Harbour back for more stuff,
I want more than anything in my life. I want a Red Guardian who's out for a real Captain America story to have an interaction with Sam Wilson in the worst fucking way. Because that will be one of the best things that they'll have done that year or whenever we get it. Because
well, him, if they, like in this Captain America movie,
so good.
He needs to encounter both Sam and Bucky.
It'll be
and
so
just like,
good.
I would rewrite if I don't know how much of the Captain America movie's been written. I assume not a lot yet.
Yeah.
But
based off what happened with Black Widow, you write him in.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, either part of this movie has to happen in Russia, or for some reason David Harbour has to be inserted. I don't care how clumsily into this movie.
Just an interaction. All we want is
we need the whole arc. He comes, he's fighting them, then they realize they're on same purposes, and then they're working together, and all the comedy that would come from all those situations. He's fighting them, and he's like, well, you're not the real Captain America. You're not the real Captain America. But maybe I take the two of you on. It is like fighting the real Captain America. And then they realize they're all friends, and then there's all those awkward conversations that happen with that. And then them fighting the real foe and all the funny David Harbour's. Dude, come on. I mean, I need the full David Harbour experience.
I think we might see him again in Hawkeye. We have a chance.
Well, if she goes again,
because remember he let it drop.
I don't know how much Hawkeye was in production before they realized how great David Harbour was.
Remember he let it drop in interviews when he's like, I've got an idea that he blames Hawkeye for the whole deal. This is before the movie came out.
He said that?
He goes, I would love for, like, he blames Hawkeye for the death of Natasha and, like, does one of those, misguided. And then
maybe Yelena gets the family back together because this is personal.
Yeah.
This is family.
And I thought about that afterwards. I was kind of like, you sly son of a bitch. That's going to be all. I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
But to me, it's like
because this Hawkeye show, is all. I feel like it's almost to launch the new Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So this might be the swan song for Renner.
For Clint.
I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if he wants to keep doing these. I don't know if he wants too much money. I feel like if they're paying him a lot of money to do a TV series, that he's still all in on this character.
I feel like he's
like in the comics, there's two Hawkeyes running around all the time.
I feel like he's in a place where after he launched the new Hawkeye and however he ends his story, where he can just come and go as they need him. There's a lot of that now.
Yeah.
Because listen, let's all be 100% honest with ourselves. With what happened at the end of Loki, we have not seen the end of Cap or Tony. They're coming back. It's just a matter of when. And that might be at the very end of this arc. It might be into phase 5. It's going to happen at some point. But there's no point on waiting or thinking about it. It's just going to be really fun when it happens. And it's probably going to be a cameo. It's probably not going to be that big of a deal.
I feel like they can walk away from those characters if they want to. If they wanted to bring a new one in, we have a Captain America. Nobody's upset about it. I feel like you could have another Iron Man. It's just a guy in a suit.
I think we're getting Ironheart.
Well, yeah, because I think they want to do Young Avengers.
It was Ironheart, but is she Young Avengers?
No, but what's the difference? Who cares?
Well, I thought she was...
As opposed to Iron Lad, Ironheart, it's still an Iron Man.
No, we need Iron Lad because we need Kang.
Not everything has to be exactly the way the comics are. I would prefer it not to be because I've already read that.
Yeah, but Marvel always switches up. They always
right.
do what you remember in a different way.
So switch it up. We got Ironheart instead. We got the female version because
I'm not.
Also because inclusivity. We don't need another white Iron Man.
Are we going to get Hulkling?
I don't know.
That'll be interesting, I think.
I don't know.
Because that's the one Young Avengers are like, that's a little harder to pull off than the rest so far.
Why?
Well, I guess because we're getting all the crease.
They didn't explain what he was originally in the comics.
That's true. And
you find out he's a Skrull later on, and only half Skrull.
He's Skrull what?
Like human, I guess.
But we are getting Kree and Skrull war down the road, so yeah, we'll get all that explanation.
He might be Kree and Skrull. I don't know.
I thought he was half and half.
He might be, but I feel like the Kree part was discovered later on. I think they would. I think originally it was. I don't know. It's been so long since.
Yeah, Young Avengers.
But I felt like for a while there it was like he was half Skrull and half human.
I didn't start getting.
And then we found out the human side wasn't human. It was Kree.
Yeah, I didn't get into Young Avengers towards the end of when I was reading comics. Before I don't have time for that shit anymore.
It's always time for comics.
maybe for AMC Stock Championship Wrestling, but
I just set my Wednesday night aside and read a bunch of books online on a free downloadable thing that's probably illegal from Russia. It is Russian. It is a Russian. It probably means I should.
Way to stimulate the Russian economy, Ben.
Oh, there's no stimulating economy. That's why I'm clicking there because they're free.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that they're getting rid of Renner. It would seem weird.
No, he'll come back.
It would start to feel too much like this whole time frame from like Endgame to now is all about like replacing
the next generation,
guys, and I don't think they want it to feel like that.
But it is what it is, and it's fine.
I mean, not only,
but some of those characters like Wanda,
I mean,
they're getting their
they're not getting replaced.
No.
She's not getting replaced. Thor isn't getting replaced.
Chris Hemsworth is going to die with that hammer in his hands.
He might. It feels like they're doing everything they can to keep him happy and keep him.
I think he is though.
No, but I'm saying like they're doing everything they can
because he gets to be Thor, man.
Yeah, but after a while, if they were still making movies like Thor 1 and 2, he'd be bored to tears. And to put all that work in, that's a lot of hard work to stay that size all the time. It mentally, I think.
Well, this movie especially because he's got the Hogan body.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He might be like The Rock now, it's like now we travel with the gym, and there's only one way to go. We only get bigger. We don't get smaller. He probably wouldn't even take a role that would ask him to lose weight.
It's funny that once Taika got a hold of him, he's become more Thor.
Or Thor's become more him.
It's weird, right? But I know I saw one interview. He's like, "Oh, I'm always going to do Thor. This is like,
Yeah, but that's. I mean, if you're doing an interview promoting a Marvel product, you're not gonna. Most people are gonna spin it positive. Whether in the back of their mind they may be like, "This is the last thing I'm doing," but I'm not gonna tell people that. Especially
all those guys seem to be having so much fucking fun, man.
I mean, but a lot of guys are walking away.
So much fun, and then over in the DC, the dark side, they're trying their best to hold on. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel there, at least.
There's a lot of
fun projects. I think Suicide Squad's going to start off a really fun run for them.
The next batch of movies are all going to be home.
Black Adam looks like it's going to be...
Black Adam's going to be huge because I think it feels like the deal they've worked with The Rock is big. I think like they want to center a lot of the DC universe around him. He's like an he keeps making it known he's an anti-hero in all of his posts and stuff.
My personal theory is The Rock is going to be the thing that at least initially that the DC universe revolves around, keeping it together, keeping the Henry Cavills, keeping the
Well, it's weird because
keeping all the pieces together.
It feels like Flashpoint's coming, and that something's coming from that.
Yeah.
But obviously they didn't invest all this time and money into The Rock to just be like, okay, Flashpoint, we're done with you.
I think they're gonna make Black Adam the big bad, which I'm fucking totally down for.
I don't know, a big bad.
But he's gonna be like that next evolution of Thanos, where he's not a good guy, but we understand everything that brought him to this point, and we almost rally behind his thinking, but it's not right, kind of thing.
He's almost like Dr. Doom without the weird like lunacies, you know?
Yes, and here's what I love about Black Adam amongst everything else: Superman can't outpunch him because he's got magic.
Well, I don't know that.
But that's like the big thing. The big thing is
Superman may be stronger than him.
Well, physically, yes, but they can't do the thing they did at the end of Justice League, where Superman just punches the thing punches the problem out of the picture.
Oh,
yeah, where you can't do that with Black Adam.
Well, you can't. Well,
it will end up being that.
Well,
but he's got all
again. If you Justice League it's one against many. Between the strength of Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Superman.
By the way, Aquaman's getting his fucking blonde hair.
Oh, is he?
Momoa's like, he took a Instagram with the first day of filming and was like, goodbye to the brown.
How does...
I don't know.
Isn't that going to be like fucking just weird as hell?
I also don't think it's going to be like...
It's more like highlights.
Yeah. I think it's going to be just stronger highlights than he had previously. I don't think it's going to be like a Patrick... what's his face? Fucking Ocean Master with the fucking straight blonde. By the way, he still remains to me so fucking underrated. He was so good in that fucking movie. Patrick Wilson is a really good actor.
I like him in everything he's ever done.
Yeah.
I like him in those like Conjuring movies.
I didn't see any.
I like him in Watchmen.
Oh my god.
I mean, he's everything I've seen him in. I've seen him in a lot of like normal acting stuff, not superhero stuff, but it's surprising that he gets a lot of these gigs. The Ocean Master thing, I mean, he was good. He's good. He's a good actor.
And people shit on that movie, but it got so many of the small things right.
Oh, Aquaman?
Yeah.
Because it's not a good movie. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. Not a good movie.
I liked it.
It's too long.
It was a lot of fun.
It's too long.
I'll give you that, though. I'll give you the length.
It gets a little fucking CGI crazy, and not in a good way, because all the underwater stuff looks fine because you can ripple it and it's underwater and obscure shit. Plus, when things are made up out of nothing, like these bizarre creatures and stuff,
you don't have any context.
But when simple people are running along a rooftop on normal buildings in a normal like skyline, and it all looks terrible.
Every time I see that scene, I don't see what everyone else sees.
The CG fight,
I just don't see it.
The CG fight
man.
out of water is dreadful.
I just think it's fine, man.
It takes me right out.
Oh.
He's cool. She does nothing for me. She's hot. That's it.
She's a good Mara.
I feel like I like the castings for some of these characters, but I feel like also some of those castings took me out of it. Like Willem Dafoe's cool, but as soon as you've got Dolph Lundgren, I like with the red hair too.
I love it.
It just took me out.
It
took me out.
I love that movie.
I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But something about Dolph underwater with red hair took me out. I like immediately I'm out. I'm no longer submersed in the story anymore. I'm like, it's fucking Drago with red hair. I don't know why. It's like the same thing for years and years. Like what's his name, Al Bundy, couldn't do serious roles.
Oh,
because as soon as he popped in, all you know is Al Bundy. And so if poor Ed O'Neill, I think I watched the.
I've heard he made out okay.
He has done very well. But listen, there's and also what's her name as his mom. It just I don't know, man. They're good. You're like, oh, this is a solid cast of people. Willem Dafoe, but for some reason it was like they all took me out. I would have rather had for all those roles to be less recognizably big name people. I don't know why, because that's not even my big complaint with the movie.
Yeah.
But
it didn't bother me at all.
Too long, a little too much CGI. I understand, 90% of the movie's CGI, but
I mean, when you look back at the Marvel stuff and you realize because they shoot digitally and then how they now shoot their movies, it's 95% of all these movies, nothing's ever shot on location anymore, except apparently
they do location.
Apparently, the Eternals was that big thing where they're we're shooting on location in all these spots.
Yeah, they didn't understand. The director wasn't demanding it, but once they got some of the footage back and they saw how beautiful the shots were, they're like, "Oh, this is okay." Yeah.
So that's good. It's good to have that because we get to the point where all these films start getting shot the same way.
The difference is Marvel movies have better CGI. I don't know if it's because
except Black Panther.
Again. You don't want to know why? Because there was so much of it, and a lot of it was happening in reality-based environments. So when you're in the fucking jungle, or it's supposed to be a rhino or whatever, you know what those things look like.
No, that last fight is where I'm talking about the final fight between.
Oh, the fight underground.
That fight was terrible.
Yeah, well,
terrible. But that's it. I mean, the movie otherwise is fine.
Well, here's the problem with that. When you've got people wearing costumes that have the little dots on them and you just are painting over them, it's going to look fine. But when you aren't enacting those scenes because it's so crazy, the tumbling over the trains and all that stuff, you don't have models doing that. You are literally animating it with a computer.
And it looks
Yeah.
You can use all the framework and wire work. It doesn't matter, yeah.
What's funny is nobody blasts that because compared to Aquaman, let's say those are similar issues in those movies. That in each of those movies, there's a fight scene that doesn't look right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Aquaman, it's another thing to pile on for complaints that are valid in that movie because it's not as good of a movie as Black Panther.
No, that's true.
And because Black Panther is batting, 1,000 on mostly every other aspect, then that's more forgivable.
I mean, are you willing to accept that a lot of the Aquaman hate keeps from people that just don't want to like DC movies? They're just pissed off.
No, because I go into everyone personally.
Because I really enjoyed Aquaman.
Why would I want something to be bad? I'm paying good money to see this. Why do I want it to be bad? I want it to be good.
I kind of wanted Justice League to be bad.
The Joss one?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah. And it was.
Whatever. I don't go in wanting something to be bad because I have to sit through it.
Yeah. Look, when we did the Snyder Cut, I needed that to be good because that's 4 hours of our life taken from us.
should have been 3:15.
Listen to that, but yeah, should have been trimmed.
Yeah,
a lot of
every fucking
everything that was shot made every that movie.
Fucking frame of film, digital frame of film was in that. Fucking
if
thing.
Zack Snyder ever comes out and says that there's deleted footage, he should be stabbed on sight.
By the way, did you see they greenlit Army of the Dead 2?
Yeah.
Well, now we'll get the robots and the aliens. I need this.
Okay.
I need to see what this is.
I
need the full look into his brain on what he was thinking.
Because it was a lot. He was thinking a lot.
I want to see if he chooses another alien movie to steal half his shots.
He already took the best one.
It's true. So I can't imagine this is going to be a more intimate movie where he can, rip off the first Alien movie.
I don't think Zack Snyder knows how to do intimate movies, Ben.
No. I don't know. No, probably not.
No. It's like...
as intimate as he gets, it's like Pain and Gain.
It's like...
Oh, that's not him.
That's Michael Bay!
They're the same fucking person to me. They're the same person to me.
They both like slow motion helicopter shots.
Zack Snyder doesn't do anything small and personal.
No. He doesn't.
Like one room, 2 characters talking the whole movie. Like 90 minutes of 2 people in a room. That's not Zack Snyder.
No.
Oh.
I don't think he's talked to just a one person for 90 minutes his entire life.
Oh, personally, he probably has.
Maybe with his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she just produces all this. She produces all this nonsense. So says she's probably his sounding board. Would he first?
It's not a good one.
I'm just saying. Like, if she is his filter, what is his unadulterated thought?
Right. Well, this is
what's his unfiltered thought?
This is the Vince Russo conundrum that we found out what it was when he went to WCW and didn't have Vince as a sounding board anymore,
and didn't have Hogan. I mean, didn't have Rock, Austin, Hunter, Mankind, Undertaker, and everyone else that was tailor-made to live out his ridiculous fucking booking fantasies. He had no good ideas in WCW. Not one. Name it.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there were plenty of.
He got lucky.
There were plenty of good characters over there. Don't diminish.
He just happened to have a few good ideas at a time where they needed one.
I don't know what we're arguing here, but
I don't know. I'm just shitting on Russo.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that's the analogy of like what you're talking with Snyder. It's like if he didn't have someone to tell him that was a bad idea.
Like George Lucas had Steven Spielberg.
No, he didn't. You ever see that whole thing? Or
was it the other way around? I can't remember.
Well, they had each other, and maybe in the 70s when they were honest and not just fucking
fool themselves,
clapping each other on the back and not ever saying no.
You've got the bigger dick, George. No, Steven, you have the bigger dick.
I mean, the thing where he showed a bunch of other contemporaries of like a sort of finished cut of the Phantom Menace.
Ooh.
And like they should have fucking murdered him in that room. Yeah. Instead, they kind of didn't have anything.
He should have turned into an intervention.
George kind of had his own revelation where he's like, I don't know how to. He's like, I think I fucked up here, but I don't know, because he'd intertwined 4 fucking storylines into each other. He couldn't unfuck it, and there's like video of him saying, I think because this is all intertwined so much, I can't unfuck it.
Jesus.
I mean, but man, if I was in that room, you want my honest opinion?
Yeah. I want my 2 hours back.
I'd be like, I would have honestly been like, you've got all the money in the world.
Yeah.
It's time to pull a Shrek and scrap
everything.
Scrap it and go hire some writers.
Mm-hmm.
Hire some writers. You haven't written anything by yourself since Star Wars, the original. I don't know what makes you think you're qualified to write this by yourself, but there's a whole generation of people that grew up on this very talented people that would love to help you.
Yeah.
And you should hire
probably.
them. Well, he's got the money. He doesn't need it for free.
Yeah.
Should have just hired the best of the best to work on these movies when he did them. Those prequels.
It's true. It's true, because what we got wasn't what we should have got. Misa thinks so.
With time, the third one isn't terrible.
I remember when it came out, I wasn't excited to go see it, but I wanted to see that crazy lightsaber fight at the end with him and Obi-Wan. That was the only selling point for me.
I feel like they did a terrible job of gradually corrupting him.
Oh my God!
You know what I mean?
They barely did a job. They just kind of told the character where to go.
It should have started a third of the way into the second movie, little bits and pieces, and by the time you get to the end of the third movie, that he's fully gone.
Let me tell you a play about.
But it was literally
Darth Plagueis.
But it was literally like bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. It was just go here, do this. It was nonsense. Yeah. You felt nothing.
And the high ground thing was ridiculous. That argument...
After flipping and doing all the nonsense they did for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that argument, maybe if you've got... Maybe that works in The Princess Bride.
Yes! When you have two normal people with swords.
Right. That's like and the only way to get out of that is, but I am not left-handed. You know? But when you have two characters that are Jedi fucking masters... When you saw what Yoda at like 750 years of age did in that one fight,
Anakin, I have the high
against
ground.
what Christopher Lee was.
Yeah,
I mean, when Yoda can do that, I don't want to hear about like the difference of a couple of feet.
It's the dumbest fucking thing ever. It was just a way to end the fight. That's all it was.
It was, and what's funny is it's like I've watched a couple of people. Watch the movie like emotionally, and over the only thing it did successfully was over the course of these three movies was to get people to care about Anakin and to kind of see some of his point of view until it devolves in that third movie with
all the other nonsense.
The Emperor and whatever laying these seeds really quickly and they grow into a fucking tree overnight and boom, he's a Sith. But you care about the character enough that when you see him totally gone and fighting his brother / father figure and then him having to cut his legs off and leave him there to get burned or whatever, there's some emotional impact. You almost get yanked out of it when he just with the words, I have the high ground. Don't do it. I mean, there's a point where there's this giant...
I'm standing on a rock!
There's this giant structure falling, and it's getting to be this increasingly difficult angle, and they're running up of it. And there are these tiny little specks on this giant thing, and there's lava flying everywhere, and they've got their lightsabers, and you're going to tell me later, I'm literally like 3 feet higher than you.
I got the advantage, man.
Don't fuck around and find out, motherfucker. Unreal.
It's so dumb.
Unfucking real.
It's very dumb.
There's two things there's three logic points that just fucking drive me. Other than quickly, like he turns bad all of a sudden, basically. There's the dumbest things that bother me with that movie because George Lucas is. It's surprising how much of a dummy this fucking guy is, and I see it more and more when I hear him talk now. When I see old interviews, but I didn't. When you're. What, 6 years old in that movie?
You don't think
that first movie comes out? You're like,
this guy's a genius,
right? And that goodwill went. He bought so much goodwill with that first movie, and then letting professionals make the second one, and then whatever after. But for him to, the irony is like, instead of calling them children, they're younglings. Like this goofy fucking made up name.
You've killed all the younglings.
But earlier in the movie, when they're fighting the vulture bots. Yeah, robots that look like vultures. But in a universe where we're a gazillion miles and a gazillion years from anyone ever calling a vulture, you're calling them vulture bots. But you can't call a child a child. You have a literal name for what it literally looks like on Earth for these robots. You can't call a child. You got to make some fucking cockadoodie bullshit name for them. Drove me nuts. And then the high ground thing. I was like, but the rest of the movie, like the look of it, the fucking the Order 66 stuff, everything else of the movie, the shift of the Senate to becoming the Empire, and there's some good lines in there. I don't think he wrote them. Like, this is how democracy ends with thunderous applause and all that shit.
That was when Natalie Portman was accidentally allowed to act.
Yeah. Well, that's... I don't know how we got into Star Wars.
I don't know. You would want to say it's like it's been pent up and you've had to say your say.
It's always a kettle that needs...
You're the Hulk of Star Wars.
That needs some release. But like, that's the sin... That's the criminal sin of George Lucas. And like the original actors even said this, like, yeah, he never really gave us direction, like a director. He never had the feedback. They were always clueless. And it's never been more apparent than in these Star Wars movies, where you have like some of the best fucking powerhouse actors of this: Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor, Sam fucking Jackson,
Liam Neeson,
and
Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee's always cool, but I mean, like these big, at the time, at the height of their power as actors,
and they have to act like they don't act.
No, and they're not acting like they don't act because they're not given any direction. And as a director, he doesn't know how to get. A good director gets the best out of your actors, like a Tarantino or someone like that. This guy, I think, to every one of those people I named, it's their worst acting performances of their careers in these fucking movies.
Except for Ewan McGregor.
Go watch some other Ewan McGregor movies. He acts the fuck out of them.
Well, no.
Even like a movie like that Birds of Prey movie, he's acting the fuck out of his character in that. In this, there's just, you can tell this is all on the director because all of these great actors are putting in subpar performances.
I mean, I'm not going to not give you that as fucking George Lucas.
It's the greatest sin he ever committed, is that he's not a good director and has no idea how to get a performance out of an actor.
Which is why I think Episode 7 hit so hard when it hit, because people were acting, emotions were flying about, Star Wars was fun again. For a little while, they were like, "Oh, I forgot Star Wars could be fun."
Yeah, until that whole thing fell apart.
Well, yes,
but yeah, that's the thing, and it's like,
but initially you're like, "Whoa, this is crazy! This is great! They look like they're having a great time on screen. We haven't seen that."
But see, that's what, because Lucas, this is the sin, is that he only directed Star Wars, and in that movie, maybe all of his acting ability, all of his directing ability was used in that movie, kind of like M. Night,
especially considering that
M. Night.
time.
His best movie was his first movie, or his big budget first movie. So Star Wars, he gets all this, or those people. Carrie Fisher's a pro. Harrison Ford, there's no doubting what he became. Hamill may not be a great actor on screen, but voice actor, he kills it. So between those, you had three people that basically defined their characters, with Lucas doing whatever job he did directing it. Second movie, you had one of the great, Irving Kershner, which is a fucking great director. And then the third movie, Lucas didn't direct it either. Then all of a sudden he thinks he can direct again. And those fucking prequels, man, he can't get a performance out of anyone.
No.
And the worst one is the kid, because he never acted. So the little kid doesn't know how to do anything.
It's working. Yeah. It's working.
And Lucas has no idea how to communicate with these actors to get anything he wants out of them.
You know what Star Wars needs, Ben? Pod racing. That's what Star Wars has been missing. Fucking pod racing. Make that the third act of a movie.
Even that would be fine if it was like, like
that was the best part of that movie.
If you think out the fucking story and have a great reason for doing it and whatever.
I remember being a 14-year-old kid standing in line, a 1.5 mile line in Orlando, Pleasure Island, Disney's Pleasure Island, for the biggest watch Phantom Menace on the biggest screen on opening night. I waited a 1.5 mile line. This is before cosplay. I was like 14. But everybody was dressed up. I remember sitting in the theater. There was this electricity that you couldn't describe. Everybody was so excited. The front scroll came out. People were cheering.
Goosebumps with the fucking
tears were in people's eyes.
Once the Lucasfilm logo came across, the Goosebumps.
My God, you would like, it felt like a religious experience, and then the movie happened. And I remember leaving that theater. Now, I, as a 14-year-old kid, left the theater going like, I wasn't really sure what I had just seen. It wasn't what I thought I was going to see, but I don't want to seem like the guy that was going to be like, I don't understand. Was that supposed to be good or bad? I don't know. But
you're 14. You're probably more like.
But you see some of the older
susceptible to like the cool stuff in it.
Well, I always hated Jar Jar. But
no, I didn't say.
yeah.
I'm saying like the effects.
Well, I'll tell you what I couldn't fathom. I couldn't fathom how they killed why they killed Darth Maul. I remember like immediately I was like, but why?
No, that's
he was going to be like
that
could have been one of the coolest characters of all time.
The sin of Lucas, the sin of the all power,
where
he's writing, producing, and directing this thing. That he has the tunnel vision, the lack of vision to understand that you killed off the only two interesting characters in your movie.
The only two.
The only two interesting characters in the movie you killed off.
Ewan McGregor spent that entire first movie going like, why am I here?
He was so busy struggling with that stupid haircut. That stupid rat tail haircut.
It's like what happened. I feel what happened was after the first movie, he goes, oh, I get it. If I'm gonna do anything, it's gonna have to be on me to do it. Mm-hmm. So the second and third movie is when we get Obi-Wan oozing with charisma, which I love. But that first movie, you could just tell he was like, I don't know what's happening here. Yeah, no, I left that theater going like, but they killed Darth Maul and he was so fucking cool. And why'd they kill I don't understand. What this is it didn't make sense. And then I remember when episode 2 came out and I left that movie theater and I went, I don't even want to see the third one. I remember not even wanting to see the third one. Yeah. I'm like, I don't care. This is not how Darth Vader happened in my mind, and I'm not gonna fuck George Lucas in this bullshit. How are you gonna ruin the greatest heel in the history of cinema? How are you going to do this? And I will say that the third one was a better movie, but god damn, they just wanted him to be Darth Vader, and they didn't even care if it made sense as far as I'm concerned.
Well, this again, the fucked up thing is, he becomes Darth Vader. This whole fucking 3 arc has to be him becoming Darth Vader, not the second half of the third movie.
No, it should have been I would argue with you a 2.5 movie arc where he's a kid and they're like,
no, but you should it should be the full 3 movies.
Yeah.
Like, the kids always got
these... And the first one was because the Jedi Council's like, whoa, listen, I understand, Qui-Gon, we're good, but there's we're all getting bad vibes here, man.
Yeah.
And then that should have been like Anakin going like, when he found out, he feels bad. He feels bad, like, what did I do wrong? And it starts all the doubt that Bill... We could have 1,000 different conversations and come up with 1,000 different better ways than they did it in the movies. Yeah. And they would all be awesome because it makes character sense.
Yeah.
And what George Lucas did was just whatever the fuck came to his mind. Because by the end, listen, I watched that third movie in the theater simply for that fight. Not much else surprised me. I was like, okay, yeah, that was cool. That was kind of cool. I was like,
I think
the Order 66 stuff was genuinely like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, everyone just died. Oh, holy shit. Like, that was done really cool. I thought that was one of the best parts of the movie. And then High Ground happened.
The coolest thing is I never watched Clone Wars, the cartoon, but I heard like if you watch the last 4 episodes of the entire series,
mm-hmm.
They're like created to be like its own fucking thing, and it syncs up perfectly to the movies.
Oh,
like the Order 66 and Ashoka's storyline, and even like the last few minutes Vader shows up later.
That's true. And do you know why? 2 words: Dave Filoni.
Yeah. But I would recommend it.
Yeah, no.
To you if you ever had like.
I never got through the end of the Clone Wars. I remember I saw the original Clone Wars series. Some of the new stuff. The problem with the animated stuff is there's so much of it, and a lot of it's good. It's just so much of it.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know how we got into fucking.
We got into Star Wars territory. It's
bad. It felt like you wanted to talk about Star Wars.
No. I don't even know how we got to it, but
I don't remember either.
Anyway,
is it time to go about our own?
It is. I gotta get ready. I gotta get another fucking. I gotta go for my second shot at 1:00.
For
vaccination.
Oh wow, good for you.
I don't want to be one of the 99%. That die from it because I didn't get a shot.
I don't want you to be one of the 99% dead either, Ben. You're not on that list of people that would like to see.
It's a long list.
It is a long list.
All right.
All right, everybody, go outside. I don't know. Say hi to your mailman. Bye.
Whatever that means.